On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. Better place and a broken dream, and we'll leave it all behind. Now, BC is no altar bridge or the fine gentleman that helms that band, but damn, was it not good to see Adam Copeland, Edge, come back to WWE last night, hit that ramp, enter that ring? Man, to get that larger-than-life vibe, man, there is nothing like it. I know some fans, today's wrestling fans, because he's not 5'8" and he can't do a bunch of flips, dives, hurricanranas anymore, suicide dives, planchas from the top, onto the outside, through flaming tables. Because he's not the ultimate gymnast, he might come across as boring. Because his promos are so amplified, and he's not the chill hipster at the coffee shop who's just wanting to have a conversation. Right? Because you can't identify with Adam Copeland because Edge is larger than life. Today's wrestling fan is quick to turn on him, right? He's got some gray hairs in his beard from time to time, so he looks too old. He can't go with Roman. It's gonna be a bad match. We're gonna need somebody like Daniel Bryan. So Edge comes back last night, and it looks like we're gonna try to do this again. The right way. One-on-one. The dude won the Royal Rumble. I hate the word deserves in pro wrestling because we say that about everybody, right? The man that soars, that just got the Monday Night Raw a couple months ago, he already deserves a title match. And then you get Edge, who won the Royal Rumble. He won the Rumble. He gets a one-on-one match with the champion of his choosing. That's been the unspoken and written rule from the beginning of time, nearly. And instead, Daniel Bryan bitches his way into the match, and that was Edge's one shot? He's got to worry about a third dude now? What the fuck? On what planet? And you see some people going, well, he had his opportunity. That's it. 3, 4, 10, 20 people. Those are the rules. Oh, those are the rules. But you don't want to talk about the Royal Rumble rules when the guy gets to choose the champion, not champions or challengers, the one son of a bitch with the title at the biggest stage of them all. That's what he gets. He didn't get that at Mania. On what planet are these people living on? So he comes back for his one-on-one. You already got people crying because it is Edge, and he is larger than life. So which means he's not identifiable, right? He's not Orange fucking Cassidy. He's not Joe Janela. He's not Drewby Gulak. He's not relatable. Thus, people are gonna turn their back on him. He's boring. He looks old. He can't hang with Roman. Do you know who we're talking? Do you see whenever Edge and Roman are in there, it is magic. You saw it again last night. Could you imagine if that was the build to WrestleMania? Just 2 months, 8 weeks. You build that son of a bitch. It would have been a million times better than the triple threat schmaz we got just to get the yeses out of Tampa, Florida. Right? You had to get the crowd yesing. Now we get to try it again. Now we get to see Edge, Roman, Money in the Bank it looks like, and then Seth Rollins will cost Edge the match, and this will set up Rollins and Edge for Summerslam, which is another dream match for BC. Might not be on the biggest of dream match lists, but for BC, man, Edge, Rollins, let's rock. Edge Roman, one-on-one. I said this at Mania. Let's rock. I'm hoping fans don't ruin this. I'm hoping Daniel Bryan doesn't come out of some fucking bush and start fucking crying to Triple Threat Thompson, a.k.a. Adam Pearce. Edge is back on this day, whether you like it or not. Adam Copeland sees clearly. Edge Edge has come to life. Man, we just rocked a large coffee in like 3.5 minutes. Not sure what BC was thinking, maybe I wasn't. But we are fucking amped, bro. So I'm gonna take a moment, give you guys the warning. The warning, I can fucking speak. Looks like I need another coffee. I'm gonna give you the warning sequence with the opening. And then we're gonna cut into the releases. I think I want to get to that before I get to the actual Smackdown review. So, we ain't gonna timestamp on this fucking channel, obviously. When it's a BC vid, a BC podcast, a BC stream, you should always listen from minute 1 all the way to the final minute because there's gonna be a wealth of knowledge in there. But feel free to fast forward to the Raw review or Smackdown. What day is it, BC? What day is it, man? Is it Tuesday morning? Negative, BC! Smackdown review, we will have that, but there's been releases, a bunch of them yesterday, and I do want to talk about that for a good 10, maybe a little more than 10 minutes. So, opening sequence, we'll get into the releases, and then we will go to the Smackdown review, and I have a wealth of things to say about this show. And when it's all said and done, you might be surprised what I thought about this show. Anyway, that's your cold open. Edge has returned. Do we finally get our one-on-one match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view? Damn it, we're only 99 days overdue for that match. Amplified man. Let's get another coffee. And then we'll get into this son of a bitch in releases and review. Discussed the entire Kanice situation. Of course, Kanice was the new WWE Raw writer hired by the company. Kanice hit the golden lottery ticket when it comes to employment. She got what is absolutely a dream position for anybody because you get to go into a conglomerate company, not know jack shit. The company has no demands for you, no prerequisites, and you get to make a ton of money. Even if you don't know a lick about pro wrestling, you can get a big-time position in that company. It's the dream spot, man. She hit the golden ticket lottery, but Kanice ruined it for herself when she took the first podcast that came her way and chose to spill the beans. She talked about how Vince McMahon had no prerequisites. You don't need any knowledge about pro wrestling. You just need to be a little bit of Hollywood. You need a little bit of that comic relief that you could bring to Raw because we don't have enough comedy on Raw. Or what they presume to be comedy, of course. R-Truth chasing around a championship. Maybe the Big Show in diapers. Maybe some flying pancakes. Maybe some water guns. Maybe a scooter chasing around a wheelchair. Yeah, that's the comedy. We need more of that, man. Kanice would have been great. But again, she ruined it for herself. She spilled the beans. WWE pissed off, obviously. Kanice exposed the company, and now they're pissed off. Vince McMahon had the curtain pulled back. Everybody saw who the man behind that curtain was in Oz. He ain't such a wizard after all. It's just an old senile man, right? It's like the Wizard of Oz. Anyway, we put that video up yesterday. Audio format, Kanice, the whole situation. A half an hour later, Kanice was let go by WWE, or at least that's the latest word that we got, and that's because the whole pro wrestling world was just up in arms, man. I don't agree with Bubba Ray Dudley much, but he has a podcast or some shit as well, and this dude was going ballistic and talking about how this is just disrespect. I mean, everybody was just up in arms. You never want to see somebody lose their jobs, but when somebody should have never been in that position because nobody benefits and it actually hurts the fucking company they're with, yeah, that's a problem. You gots to hit the bricks. You gots to go. When you should have never been there, there ain't that much sorrow in a departure. damn, brah. I just, from top to bottom, I don't understand the decision-making on that, but it fits this company, doesn't it? Moving on, because there was actually a lot of other releases after that whole situation. So while that was breaking, we start to get word that a lot of talents are going down. So let's get into that. Yes, for those of you that don't have an absolute clue at all what I'm talking about, there was another round of releases today. However, don't worry, this seems more like accurate releases. These are releases that should be happening because it is going to help the talent and the company. The company is just filled to the brim. Vince McMahon has fucked up. Vince McMahon has overcrowded the company because he didn't want any other organization, AEW, to get their hands on these talents. Triple H doing the same thing in NXT with some of these names. So they tried to fill this WWE bubble until the bubble finally bursts, and that's what you're starting to see. They gobbled everybody up, and now A, they have no room for them, B, they can't possibly use everybody, and C, they can't pay everybody. Or they could, but Vince McMahon will always release in the name of budget cuts. And here we are with all of this talent doing nothing but either sitting at catering or staying at home like Aleister Black just said he was for 7 months, like Miro / Rusev used to say he did for months, and Luke Harper / Brody Lee, and Matt Cardona. And I can go on and on. All the talents that are sitting at home, and fans don't know if they're injured. Fans don't know if their contract is already expired. Fans don't know if there's a dispute. Nah, Vince McMahon just wanted to fucking pay you to sit home so nobody else could have you. And now Vince McMahon is sitting there thinking with Triple H, shit, we have a lot of motherfuckers on this roster. But at least this round's a little better, man. These are cuts that, yes, it sucks people lost their job, but you gotta think about your company, bro. Getting it better. Having 150 talents is not making your company better. So we did see a round of cuts involving Marina Shafir. Now I believe she's a brand new mama, or at least within the last couple of years. So that does indeed suck, but she's gonna bounce right back, man. Ronda Rousey's her good friend, Shayna. She's got a good support system. We all know who her husband is. She's gonna be just fine. She was not going to work in WWE. And even if there was a possibility that she could work at WWE, Vince was never going to give her that chance unless she was attached to the hip to Ronda Rousey. You guys know I'm correct. The Bollywood brothers. I think we all saw that coming. What were the Bollywood brothers going to do on the main roster other than Vince McMahon tying them to the hip of Jinder Mahal? And you know damn well that's what he would have done. How do we know? We've seen it in the past. Everrise. Were they ever really going to get out of the shadow of the Young Bucks? That's a question I pose for all of you. But let's not act like this is a huge release that's going to shake the company and it should have never happened. No. Yes, they need tag teams. But if you're talking about popping that WWE bubble for the better, this makes perfect sense. Everrise was never going anywhere on the main roster. Vince would never know how to use them. They could only stay in NXT. And you cannot keep them there for the next 3 years. A shame? Yes. But we know how the old man thinks. We have to start thinking business-wise. This channel is dedicated to making pro wrestling better, making these companies better. Just having all these talents there to collect a paycheck and say, hey, at least they're employed, is not the purpose or the service of this channel. These are more like the cuts that should be happening. Not Mickie James, not Aleister Black, not Samoa Joe, not even Braun Strowman, bro. If you gave me Braun and said book creatively for him, I would have made this guy look like the fucking beast that we've seen him look like 17 times in the past. These are more accurate cuts. Also, you have... Now, these are some of the bigger names, guys. Tyler Breeze, who, of course, has been with the company for years. Mostly attached to the NXT brand. A small, short stint with WWE's main roster. Went back to NXT, started to find his groove again with Fandango. And, of course, they were Breezango. And on the flip side, it wasn't just Tyler Breeze released. We're also hearing that Fandango has also been released. So that's the entire tag team of Breezango. That's 3 teams, man. Bollywood Bros, Everrise, and of course, Breezango. Fandango's been there a while. It's a shame that this dude never amounted to anything. There was a time, I believe he even took on Chris Jericho at a WrestleMania. And everybody was doing the dun 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 dun. And this dude was all over, bro. ESPN was playing the clips, and Vince just didn't know how to capitalize, man. If this was 80s Vince McMahon, he would have done something with that shit. But as the years go on, we're seeing Vince McMahon slip hardcore. He's not the same Vince that he was in the 80s, not even the 90s. And it's sadly, as every year passes by, he slips more and more into a delusional state where he still believes he's that dude. And we wish he was, because old school Vince brought a lot of good business and made pro wrestling fun for us, man, WWE. But this ain't the same dude, and he dropped the ball on Fandango. Fandango, just like Tyler Breeze, tried to reignite his career in NXT, and it just never really happened. They made it halfway, and it never really clicked. So Breezango's gone, man. And again, there is a saddened part to say that, because you know how many years they've been with the company. But when you're talking about talents in a full roster, a bubble that is about to fucking burst, and you need to make cuts, let them go. Let them discover what they can be in this business. I honestly think that most of these wrestlers get so used to the prison they're in, they just become fine, content with collecting paychecks. And just being lifelong WWE journeymen. But they're worth so much more. They can contribute so much more. There's life beyond WWE. So I truly believe this is going to be better for these individuals. The Samoa Joes and the Mickey James and the Braun Strowmans and the Aleister Blacks, you could say the same thing, but the reason that we're more pissed off about it is because there's zero reason they should be getting let go from the company. There's zero reason you could possibly screw those talents up or disrespect them to the point of releasing those talents because they are so damn good. That's the difference. So Breezango is gone. Also, Killian Dane is another big name. Especially if you do follow NXT, Killian Dane was released. Or at least that's what we're hearing, man. And I can tell you it's pretty damn accurate, because I believe Killian Dane just released a statement. I'll try to add that into this very vid. If I can get that up, I'll put that in right now. I got the phone call today while I was at the WWE Performance Center doing extra ring training. I'm gutted. I'm angry, but I know it's not personal. I believe above all else, you have to be as good a person as you can. Always willing to adapt and learn. Stay open-minded, be a good employee, help newer talent at every opportunity, and always be professional, even when it's hard to be. I started this journey 17 years ago. When I first started, it felt like a giant ladder was between me and the WWE. As the years went on, I got to make that gap smaller and smaller as I met, trained, and worked with wonderful people who helped me get to each next rung until I lived out my dreams. And he goes on to give a lot of thanks, man, in another 4 or 5 paragraphs. So there you go. That's a couple of paragraphs from Killian Dane's statement on his release. A couple of more cuts today was Daivari and also Tony Nese got cut. Now, Tony Nese, that one's hard to kind of take, because Tony Nese, I always felt had that special spark in him. He just needed it to be ignited properly, and it never happened. Vince never just gave him the ball. You could say that with so many talents. I just look at Tony Nese, and creatively, I could have done so much with that dude. And on top of that, obviously, his wrestling will captivate you in and of itself. But just another superstar. They dropped the ball, and then we rounded off the cuts with a few developmentals into what was going to be some NXT mainstays. That's gonna be it, man. I don't want to harp on it anymore. Much love, respect, and all the best to all the boys and gals that got released. Let go. And if there's any more names, man, that we hear about after the filming of this, this is their time to go out and literally prove to the old bastard that he fucked up. But at the end of the day, the WWE has to make these cuts because there's too many people. It sucks that we're even in this situation, that they were hoarded, because that's what they were. They were fucking cattled up like an animal. Fucking rounded up like cattle and just told to just sit in your pen. If we ever need you, you'll get a text. They won't even call you. They'll text you. Hey, we need you at TV. But that's what they were. Now they get to actually work, earn their money, and spark that passion that got them into the business in the first place, man. There's going to be bonuses from this. Trust me. I've been fucking knocked down more than anybody on planet Earth. I kept getting not just back up, but better than ever. You know, you gotta look at rock bottom as a springboard, man. You can either splat onto that son of a bitch, or you can bounce off of rock bottom. You know, the decision is yours. These motherfuckers have to bounce off that shit and come back better than ever. I truly believe they're going to. But as a company, these are the cuts that had to be made. They shouldn't have been there in the first place because there was too. Not because of talent. Of course they have talent. There's too many people. And there was a time when AEW especially was just starting up where Vince was just trying to get everybody, and Triple H started to do that. NXT, which is a much smaller brand, only 2 hours a week for television. Whereas WWE is getting Smackdown for 2 hours, Raw for 3 hours, a bunch of B shows. And NXT's over here floating around with 2 shows, but they have a roster of like 60 to 70 if you add in some development. How the fuck you gonna use all them? You can't. So now you're seeing NXT/developmentals getting released. AEW has the same problem. They have a roster of 100 individuals. Now, they have a lot of B shows, and they have YouTube shows, so they utilize a lot more of their talent, but nobody's really watching them. Nobody's knowing about a lot of these shows. I'm of the old school belief that a smaller roster used more properly is going to benefit everybody in the long run. And I stick to those beliefs. But anyway, all the best to everybody that lost their position in WWE. But I'm looking at this. You know, when it doesn't dumbfound me like the Mickey Jameses and the Blacks and the Samoa Joes and all, even Strowman, when it doesn't befuddle me, and it makes a little more sense for everybody, then we can start to get the ball rolling on getting this company back on track. Alleviate the pressure. This WWE bubble is too full. You have to pop that son of a bitch, alleviate the pressure, and then this train will be back on track. Anyway, let's get to Smackdown now. You made it. Oh, Beasley, it took 20-something minutes, man. I came here for the Smackdown review, Beasley. Well, hey, guess what? Congratulations, you made it. The show starts. This is June 25th, 2021. Show starting off with Bianca Belair, middle of the ring. She's talking that smack to Bayley. Bayley's not in the ring, but Belair's going on. She's doing the hoorah speech too, you know, for all the bullies out there, and for those that say it can't be done doing it the right way and the hard way. Here's proof, and she holds up the championship. That was a big paraphrase from BC, but you get the point. And she actually says, and I quote, Belair says this is a quote, "Bayley can scheme and laugh all she wants like the Wicked Witch of the West. But ding dong, the witch is dead." I thought that was pretty clever, right? Did Kanice write this right before she left? You can laugh and scheme all you want like the Wicked Witch of the West, but ding dong, the witch is dead because Bayley uses the ding dong. I liked it. I saw what they did there. Seth Rollins then hits the ring because there's about to be a mixed tag schmaz. So Seth Rollins hits the ring. He basically rains on Belair's parade. The over-the-top obnoxiousness from Seth is just next level, and I'm loving this annoying Rollins. I really am. It's actually funny to BC. Now, do you have to be careful and walk that line? Or know when to walk that line? Yes. Because it can be an over-the-top that is just like, dude, stop. But right now, this character, especially mixed in with Bayley, I'm loving it, man. Bayley, speaking of, then hits the ring. She tells Bianca, and I quote, she looks at her and still sees the same Bianca Belair. I see what she did there. Belair, yeah. Bianca Belair. All right, Bayley. All right, they're coming up with some one-liners in this one. Cesaro then hits the ring. He's done talking, or he doesn't want to hear any more talking. So a melee ensues when Cesaro hits the ring, and this all again leads to a mixed tag match after break. Now, usually mixed tags are a schmaz-esque type of match for BC, but I do love the chemistry again of Bayley and Rollins. And I thought, and just the thought, I should say, of Cesaro and Bianca Belair is an interesting concept to BC. So I was along for the ride in this match. Yes, it was schmazzery, but I'll take a mixed tag match over a six-man tag any day. Because once you start getting 6 dudes in the ring or 6 females in the ring, it becomes way too ping-pongy. You got to keep track of now everybody, and usually those matches, everybody is just trying to get their spots in. Nobody is selling, and it's just a circus. So I'll take the mixed tag match, especially if you can put pairs in there that intrigue me. Bayley and Seth Rollins have awesome chemistry, and Cesaro and Bianca Belair. I mean, you think about that tandem, and it pretty much raises some interesting concepts up in the dome piece, man. You could do a lot with those two. Anyway, Bayley defeats Belair at the finish of this match with Rose Plant. Oh, man, not a fan of champions losing matches on weekly television. It loses the big moment feel when dropping the title at a big pay-per-view in a mega match. Champions need to be protected, and the matches that champions are in have to be prestigious. So when subconsciously, and you say, BC, it's not a big deal, man, but it kind of is, because subconsciously we're taking inventory of those losses, and we remember that our champion lost here, and lost over here, and remember when she lost there, and 2 weeks ago she lost, and then when it comes to the pay-per-view, and she's about to lose the championship, or have this big match, you don't even realize it maybe. Again, this is subconsciously we're taking inventory, but subconsciously we did, and it doesn't feel as impactful. That's just a little psychology lesson for everybody. So that's why I'm not a fan at all, because there's a bigger game at play here. It's not just, oh, it's one loss, you'll be fine. No, because those add up. And then you start talking about, it's just the 47th loss in 4 years. She's good. No, 47 televised losses should not be happening to somebody like Bianca Belair with a championship. So you got to protect that. That's what I'm against. I think there could have been a better way to do this. Now, on the flip side, to say Bayley isn't capable or deserving of that victory would just be dumb. So that's why I'm going to let it slide. We have no choice. The deed has been done anyway. And it's Bayley. Let's not act like this is just some fucking, plain Jane off the street. This is Bayley, man. Her resume speaks for itself. Her talent speaks volumes. And the new character that she's fucking with, I feel, is the best version of Bayley that we've gotten. Wrestling-wise, you can argue NXT Bayley, absolutely. But character-wise, this Bayley is absolutely leaps and bounds. Confidence-wise, especially, way above anything that Pamela, the female behind the character of Bayley, way beyond any measures that she ever tapped into before. So anyway, we're kind of jumping into this a little deeper than I wanted to. Bayley gets the win. Belair, your champion, takes an L. But I just, I don't know, I enjoyed this a little more because I believe the tandems just are intriguing to me in those pairs. Moving on, Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a coronation ceremony of that crowd. This was the closest thing to a concert that BC has seen since the start of the pandemic. So you had Shinsuke in there dressed in all white like he's an angel or part of the wait staff at catering. Either way, Shin is jamming. Rick Boogs is rocking the fuck out. Rick Boogs is going to town, man. Rick Boogs, honestly, I truly believe this in his dome piece. He believes he's at the concert. He believes he is the concert. This guy's jamming next level. You got Pat McAfee up on the commentary table. He's slamming and pounding waters. A la Stone Cold Steve Austin. When he used to pound and double fist the beers. You got Pat McAfee top of the commentary table, pounding waters, smashing it together, saying this is the best thing in life, living his best life. Pat McAfee is a gem to Smackdown, brah. I truly believe, and I don't see eye to eye with Corey Graves on a lot of the shit he says, but I know the gem that he is, man. Corey Graves and that type of commentator is needed in pro wrestler. You need somebody to stick up for the heels. So when the good guy commentary, the actual, as Vince would call him, the storyteller, says, that's cheating, by God, that's not right. You need that commentator to be like, what do you mean? I didn't see anything. The ref certainly didn't, and that's all that matters. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win, Michael. Little JBL. You know, JBL, those types were needed commentary-wise. Corey Graves is a gem for Raw. And over on the Blue brand, Pat McAfee is a fucking gem. So I love this whole fucking thing. It was simplistic. You could say it was stupid. But it was working, man. It's just a fucking concert is what it turned into. Backstage, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville were even... Well, they weren't dancing per se. I don't think you could call it dancing, but they were definitely trying to dance. They were moving around in a frantic awkwardness. How's that? That's their attention at a dance. Moving around in frantic awkwardness. That's what Sonya and Triple Threat Thompson, Adam Pearce, was doing backstage during this Shinsuke concert coronation. Baron Corbin was, you're right, you're asking, what was the point of all this, Beastie? Well, it looks like another Baron Corbin Shinsuke match in the future, 914 times now, if you're keeping track. I don't know, but Baron Corbin was backstage looking on, and it looks like he kind of lost his confidence. He looked saddened, just a little bit, just a little depressed that was happening, that concert coronation for his crown, and he kind of just walks off, so... That was how they ended the segment. So I don't know what they're planning on doing for Corbin now. Does Corbin take time off? Do we see Corbin and Shinsuke for the 914th time? Is this the beginning of a transformation in character for Baron Corbin? His third or fourth in the past few years? We'll see, man. But I enjoyed that. I don't know. I think I enjoyed it more than I either thought I was going to, or maybe even more than I should have enjoyed it. But that's how deprived BC has been for concerts, man. To see everybody jamming out, I'll fucking take it. Hour number 2 begins with a Money in the Bank qualifier. This was Big E versus Apollo. If you feel like you've seen this match before, stop those thoughts. It's all an illusion. Vince does not want you remembering their past 27 matches. This year, by the way. Big E delivers the big ending and defeats Apollo. This is another one of those scenarios where, damn, man, your champions can't be losing. But then, on the flip side, just like Bayley and Bianca, you look at Big E, and this dude is a main event caliber dude. So you absolutely believe he's capable and deserving of beating champions. So I'm not saying it's not believable, it just takes away that prestige, and it takes away those impactful moments when your champion is actually losing the belt, the strap, the title, the championship. So that's my only issue with Big E winning the match. Other than that, I love seeing Big E win singles matches, and this sumbitch should be in main events in no time, man, going for that top prize. You guys know how I feel about Big E. I see big things for this dude. I have for years, and that's why for the last couple years, I'm like, all right, dude, can we break him away from the New Day now? I understand he's selling t-shirts. I understand the pancake throwing is fun for Vinny K. But, brah, there's so much potential that needs to be tapped in for Big E. And he beats Apollo here. Again, I hate champions losing, but man, because it's Big E, I digress. The thought of Big E with the briefcase and the thought of Big E going for a world title in a main event, that could be very interesting, and it's what BC's been calling for. Moving on, Sonya Deville introduces Carmella into the women's Money in the Bank match. Liv Morgan comes out. First of all, why is Carmella just being announced as it while everybody else has to fight their way in? Now, granted, on Raw, the women were in tag matches, so they didn't have to have singles matches, but still, they're trying to earn their way in. Over on the blue brand, Sonya's just like, Carmella! And I'm like, well, wait, hasn't Carmella been losing matches left and right? So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And you guys know I'm an advocate for Carmella, man. While a lot of the wrestling world bashes Carmella, I'm seeing her improve by the day, by the minute. I just don't like the logic gaps, the holes in the game of the booking. But I guess that's always my problem with WWE. Anyway, Carmella is introduced as a participant in the Women's Money in the Bank match. Liv Morgan comes out and objects to that announcement, as I'm sure a lot of people were. Sonya says, okay, Liv, if you think you deserve to be in the match, prove it. Beat Carmella right now. And she tells Carmella, don't worry, your spot is secure, but I just want to see if Liv can earn her way in. So we come back from break, and Liv and Carmella were rocking out. I was digging this match. Of course, WWE's booking will find a way to ruin it. They always do. But it was cool. Good chemistry between the two, and physical. Brah, there was one spot where Carmella literally kicked Morgan in the throat. They even had to replay that son of a bitch in slow-mo because they knew it was badass. Beautiful optics. And the physicality, they had confidence, both of these gals. And again, that's one of the biggest keys in a good pro wrestling match. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your confidence isn't there and you're going to hesitate a lot, it's going to look horrible. So Liv just went for it last night. No hesitation. Carmella has been doing that. Like this match, man. I know it's a simplistic rematch, right? Liv Morgan, Carmella. But I like this. As I said, WWE did find a way to muff it, though. And they had Morgan win, which was not the problem. I'm fine with that. Because again, this new Carmella character can easily bounce back from a loss. You just have Greg Hamilton say, but still, the most beautiful woman in all of WWE, Carmella. Let's not act like she's not so damn beautiful. She is. So that character can bounce back easily. Those heel characters can bounce back from that. The face characters, they have a much harder time bouncing back. So it's not the problem in the fact that Liv won the match, but it's because it was via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating Faroot roll-up. Can't we do something different than just holding the legs or the shoulders down? After what I thought was, with the time they were given, which was not a lot, I thought it was a decent to even good match. And you have to end all of these good matches with holding shoulders down or holding the legs down. So they can kick out of everything. DDTs and even pile drivers. They can not tap out from sharpshooters and figure four leg locks. They can survive it all, but they can't get their shoulder just a centimeter off the mat if it's being held down. I'm not buying it. I hate the fruit roll-up finish, and that's how they had Morgan win this match. I digress. I still love what both ladies did in there, and I am fucking loving the confidence, man. You can bash a lot of people in WWE. Carmella is no longer one of them, man. She's taking what they are giving her, and she's hitting home runs. Jimmy Uso versus Dolph Ziggler is next. Paul Heyman earlier in the night pretty much placed a win this match or else stipulation on Jimmy, as the family reputation is on the line. Now, Jimmy took care of business with Dolph. However, when he got backstage, he did not get the reception he thought he was going to get from Roman. Roman then heads to the ring for the State of the Universal Championship address, and Paul Heyman kind of tells Jimmy, maybe you should let Roman just go out there, me and Roman. You stay in the back, Jimmy. And Jimmy is forced to stay in the back. Paul says the tribal chief has ran through the roster. Now, this is once they're in the ring. Paul is saying this to the camera. This is the State of the Universal Championship address. Heyman is saying they've ran through everybody and there's just nobody left. Of course, not true. There's Big E, which we can't wait for in the future. There's even Shinsuke. If you continue to build this dude like the king of strong style he always was, you could do something really cool storyline-wise with Roman and Shinsuke in the future, and the match will be fucking awesome. So there is people, but Paul is staying in character here, acting like he has already stacked everybody up. And Edge, Adam Copeland, makes his return to WWE, man. Now, I know it's only been a couple of months, but damn, I miss this dude. One of the very few larger-than-life characters left, right? Roman, Bray Wyatt, Edge. Who else is larger than life in WWE? I'm just not seeing it. For the females, I'm guessing a lot of people would look up to maybe a Sasha Banks like that. Maybe for some females, Charlotte is that woman. I don't know. But for the men, I can definitely say I can count maybe 3. Roman, Bray, Edge. Orton, maybe? Man, I feel like Orton's booking the past decade has just been botched so many different times when he could have and should have been so much more. I know people like RK Bro and all that. Oh, it's funny, and I like these two together. It's just BC's creativity is next level. And I would have Randy Orton just a centerpiece in my organization. For the past decade, today, Orton would be a centerpiece. I don't think I would have him with Scooter McGee. So I don't even put Orton in that category, unfortunately. So I don't know who else is larger than life, but Edge is one of those very few. And that's why when you see the community, all the smart people in pro wrestling, the smart fans, and they say Edge is too old, Edge is boring, Edge shouldn't be in there with Roman, and you just think, what are you fucking watching? Leading up to Mania, Edge and Roman, when they were one-on-one in promos, and even at WrestleMania, when Daniel Bryan hit the bricks for a minute, and he was injured outside, or he took a move and he was out of the match, when it was Edge and Roman one-on-one, promos, interviews, in the ring, it was always top-notch phenomenal. Whenever you blurred it, and you added people, it became diluted. Now it looks like they're gonna do it again, man. Let's do it correctly. Let's have the fucking dream match. Is it WrestleMania, so is it as prestigious? Unfortunately, no. They botched it. They ruined it. They canceled the dream match at Mania so they could get some yes chants in Tampa Bay. And boy, how'd that work out for them? Right after they were done screaming, yes, yes, it was right back to fucking Edge. I have so many people there live that said Edge had the biggest fucking pop throughout the fucking match. Backfired right in Vinnie Mac's face. Who said that was going to happen? Hey, BC tried to tell everybody. Just a YouTuber. He doesn't know what he's talking about. BC, he's just a YouTuber. I knew that was going to happen, man. The dream match is sitting in your lap on your biggest stage of them all. WrestleMania, Edge Roman, it speaks for itself. Have Edge lose, that's fine. So now here we are 99 days later. Or it will be 99 days come Money in the Bank. If they choose to have that match, it'll be 99 days on the night of Money in the Bank. Better late than never, I guess. As special, as epic as a WrestleMania dream match main event? No. But beggars can't be choosers. And it looks like we're going to have that. When Edge came out, he started rocking Roman. Roman was able to hit a Superman punch, and he went to grab a chair, but Edge hits him with a devastating spear. Jimmy Uso comes out because Edge was about to do a concerto. Once he had Roman down, Jimmy Uso comes out and takes out Edge. Edge is able to grab the upper hand. Jimmy and Roman fucking hightail it. They're standing atop the ramp. Roman is injured. He's holding his arm. And Edge is hilarious. He's looking at the hard cam and he's screaming, Roman! Roman, where you at, Roman? I love this Edge, bro. It didn't even sound like his voice. He hit another octane in bass. He was pissed. Dude looks like he just came out of a motherfucking cave as it is the last 2 months. Like he was just fucking ready to rock Roman, man. And He's screaming, Roman, where you at? And it's the funniest camera angle because they actually show Roman right at the top of the ramp. Roman was right there watching. If Adam Copeland just looked to his right a little bit, just a little bit, Roman was right there. So Edge is screaming at the hard cam as if Roman is already in the limo taking off. Where are you at, Roman? Roman's looking at him like, well, Adam, I'm right. Adam, over here, brah. Anyway, BC thought, nobody else thought that was funny. I thought that was funny, man. That got a little LOL moment out of BC. Anyway, man, Edge is back. BC gets his dream match. I know, I understand. This is why I tell everybody, just fucking don't do the whole social thing because it is just, it'll dumb you up or dumb you down. Because you start going to message boards, I can fucking speak, message boards, there you go, things of that nature, and you just see, Edge is boring, this is gonna suck, we need Daniel Bryan in this match, we need the triple threat rematch. You know, you're gonna see shit like that, and it's just like, what are these people, you already fucked up the WrestleMania main event for so many. Don't fuck up Money in the Bank too. Let's have the fucking dream match, and if you honestly don't like Edge that fucking much, because you can't identify with somebody that's larger than life, because you could never be in the shoes of Adam Copeland / Edge, then just don't watch, right? It's what BC is told every time I rip WWE or any pro wrestling show apart. I get told, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, let me relay that message. If you honestly think Edge is the problem with the WWE or pro wrestling, you got a couple 2-3 screws loose up in the dome piece. I'm BC Amplified. That's been your Smackdown. Almost said Raw again. We definitely need to double fist those coffees like Pat McAfee was double fisting those waters last night. Smackdown for June 25th, 2021. The Amplified unit, you keep rocking out. BC will keep jamming and rocking the fuck out. And until next time, think, be, live, damn it, Amplified. Check you later.